Imagine a man who was considered simple and avoided all arguments. But one day, that same man won with a strategy that stunned the opponent. Someone asked him, "Where did you learn all this?" He simply mentioned a book, The Meaning of War. This book isn't about fighting, it's about understanding. This book isn't about winning, it's about avoiding conflict with wisdom. And that's what we've come to learn today. How to win every battle in life without taking up arms. How to face every difficulty with a mind, not fear. Each chapter is like secret instructions given to a soldier before battle. Welcome to Audio Nook, your very own Hindi audiobook channel. Let's start with Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Preparation before winning. Once a king asked his minister, "What if we lose the battle?" The minister smiled and said, "So understand, you started the battle before you even won. Victory or defeat isn't decided on the battlefield. It's decided in the strategy before you step onto that battlefield." This is the first thing Sun Tzu says in this book. War isn't something fought with swords. The real war is one won with strategy. Now just think about how often we make decisions without thinking. Whether it's petty conflicts, office politics, or competitive situations, we always take immediate action, but forget strategy. Take an example. If you want to demonstrate your value in a project and start working without planning, your work may not be visible. But if you think ahead about which work will be visible at which moment, what to show to which stakeholder, you increase both your visibility and impact without much effort. This is the power of thinking ahead. Sun Tzu says that someone who understands themselves and their enemies well can't lose even in 100 battles. The enemy here doesn't mean a person, but the challenge that's holding you back. Procrastination, comparison, distraction, or self-doubt. Now imagine if you started every day with a 5-minute strategy. What to do today, why to do it, and how to do it. Wouldn't your productivity, clarity, and confidence increase? So this first chapter teaches us that preparation is half the battle. And in the next chapter, we'll learn when it's wise to not fight to win a battle. Chapter 2, winning isn't necessary. It's important to not fight at the right time. Sun Tzu says that a battle that can be avoided is a winnable one. Now, this may sound a bit strange. So if you want to win, how can you stop fighting? Let's illustrate this with a true story. In 2001, a large IT company won several new clients through aggressive marketing. But the internal team began to break down under the pressure of work. They kept jumping into every contract, thinking every customer was important. But after 6 months, those same clients became the source of dissatisfaction and delays. Management realized that not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes saying no is the best strategy for long-term success. Now ask yourself, what situations in your life do you say yes to simply to appease someone, or simply because you don't know how to say no? For example, if a friend plans to meet every week, while you should be working on your own goals, and you say yes every time, is that time making you successful? Sun Tzu explains this. A smart warrior is one who doesn't jump into every battle. They choose which battles to fight and when. So imagine how sharp and impactful your results can be if you focus your energy only on situations that truly contribute to your growth. And in the next chapter, we'll discuss how to become a master without defeating your enemy, music. Chapter 3. Winning without fighting is the true victory. The most legendary quote of Sun Tzu. The greatest warrior is the one who defeats the enemy without drawing a sword. Hearing this, it brings to mind a story where a Japanese leader, Oda Nobunaga, had to fight a rival state, but he didn't attack. He blocked their economy, cut off supplies, and after 6 months, that state surrendered. 0 bloodshed, 1% success. So, consider how much energy will be left if we jump into every argument and every conflict. Take, for example, someone deliberately irritates you at work. If you react every time, you'll fall into their trap. But if you ignore them and maintain your performance level, they'll eventually become irrelevant. This is the philosophy Sun Tzu teaches. The most peaceful way to win is to let the opponent defeat you. So consider whether it's necessary to fight with the desire to win every time, or create such clarity in your strategy that people automatically move out of your way. We'll learn how to make yourself so unpredictable that the enemy can't understand. What are you thinking? Chapter 4. Hide your intentions, don't move. Sun Tzu says, show one thing, think another. Only then is real strategy formed. Hearing this brings to mind an old political story, when one country clearly stated at the United Nations that it wanted peace, but at the same time, secretly put all its soldiers on alert along the border. As a result, the other country retreated without any attack. Unpredictability is power. Now imagine in real life. Sometimes you're starting a new project, but you tell everyone, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What happens next? Either people demotivate you, or your plan falls apart. Sun Tzu here, we suggest, don't change your direction. Just create a ruckus so that no one can understand your direction. Take an example. Suppose you want to switch jobs. If you tell everyone now, office politics will start, or you'll be demotivated. But if you quietly learn skills, build a network, and suddenly show an offer letter, you'll be in control. Now imagine how much more control your life can be if you keep your real plans secret. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to gradually accumulate your strength to make a big impact at the final moment. Chapter 5, Hide Your Strengths. Show impact. This is the principle of Sun Tzu. Don't show all your strength all at once. The impact will be when everyone thinks you're doing nothing and suddenly you emerge ahead. A real story comes to mind. Mahendra Singh Dhoni's captaincy. Initially, people underestimated him. He spoke less and smiled more. But when it comes time to make a decision, there are always 3 steps ahead. This is what quietly building power is all about. Now imagine if you've been practicing a skill consistently without flaunting it on social media, and one day, when you show off your results, people will be shocked. For example, you're quietly learning coding and then one day you launch your own app. What will the reaction be? How long have you been doing this? Sun Tzu says, be like a tiger, stay calm, leap at the right time. Now imagine how much impact your explosion will have after a year if you quietly invest your energy in your skill every day. We'll learn how in the next chapter, strategy, not force, is used to defeat the enemy. Chapter 6, Victory comes from focus, not force. Sun Tzu says, never attack frontally. Understand their defenses and enter from where they are weakest. Hearing this brings to mind a real-life war case. The Battle of Troy, where the Greek army was unable to do anything from the front for 10 years, but one day they sent a wooden horse inside, which the army sneaked in and won. The lesson is strategy, not force. Now imagine yourself repeatedly trying to achieve something through force. More hard work, more time, more pressure, yet the results are still average. Take an example. You're repeatedly convincing your parents about a career, but each time there's conflict. What if you understand their concerns? Then build their trust with examples, facts, and patience. Maybe they'll gradually accept the same thing. Sun Tzu says, don't hit hard, hit smart. Now, imagine how easily you can achieve results without fighting, if you deeply observe every problem and identify its weak points. In the next chapter, we'll learn how you can achieve victory without defeating the enemy. Chapter 7, Victory must be decided before battle. Sun Tzu says that the one who first decides victory and then goes to war wins. Now understand this from a real-life incident. In the 1971 Indo-Pak War, General Manek Shah prepared for months before the war. The battle plan, Pakistan's weaknesses, and even the timing were considered. When the war began, India achieved a resounding victory in just 13 days. This means that victory is decided in the strategy room, not on the battlefield. Now consider your own life. Do you plan first, then take action, or do you rush about without a strategy? Take, for example, if you want to start a business, would you start without market research and without a clear USP? Sun Tzu says the more clarity you have before battle, the less losses you will suffer. Now imagine if you clarify 3 things before every step. What is my objective? What is my method? Where is my weakness? Then victory will be almost certain. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to keep your army confident and the enemy confused without a fight. Chapter 8. Assess your strategy by the state of your army. Sun Tzu says to formulate a strategy based on the state of your army, not the enemy's strength. A real-life incident. Alexander the Great once postponed a battle to give his exhausted soldiers a rest, even though his advisors were saying attack now. Alexander said victory comes from preparedness, not strategy. When the army was fully recovered, he attacked and won without much loss. Now, consider whether you yourself are tired, confused, and overwhelmed, and make a major decision in that state. For example, if you are burned out and make a job change or career decision that very day, will it be right? Sun Tzu teaches, first, strengthen your position. Then enter the battlefield. So, now consider whether your inner army, your mind, emotions, and health is ready. In the next chapter, we'll learn how it's crucial to calm yourself from within before winning a fight. Chapter 9. A calm mind, a fast win, says Sun Tzu. A calm mind can read the enemy's every move. The real story. Whenever Bruce Lee meditated before a fight, people laughed. Why would he close his eyes before a fight? But in a fight, That same calmness gave him lightning-fast reflexes. His mantra was, be adaptable, clear, and clear. Now think about how all your decisions are made when you're stressed, either in a hurry or in complete confusion. For example, if you write an email after a fight, it might contain words that make you regret it. Sun Tzu says a calm mind is the real weapon. So imagine how clear your judgment would become if you sat quietly for just 10 minutes before every critical decision. In the next chapter, we'll learn how playing with others' emotions can win a battle. Chapter 10. Play with the enemy's emotions, not with weapons. Sun Tzu says if you can anger the enemy, he will lose his composure. Now, listen to the 2001 India versus Australia cricket match, when Harbhajan Singh irritated Ricky Ponting with his constant sledging. Ponting kept playing shots in anger and was quickly dismissed. The game was won with psychology, not with the bat. Now, consider whether there are people in your life who play with your emotions. Do you fall for them every time? Take an example. If someone repeatedly provokes you and you react every time, then they win, whether they say anything or not. Sun Tzu says, disturb others' moods, but always remain calm yourself. Now consider if you learn to control others' actions by understanding their patterns, your victory will not be assured. In the next chapter, we'll learn how location and timing can help you win without extra strength. Chapter 11. Time and place determine the path to victory. Sun Tzu says the warrior who chooses his own battlefield always wins. A real-life incident is the Battle of Kurukshetra, where the Pandavas planned their entire strategy based on location and terrain. Every attack and every defense was optimized for the terrain. Resultless soldiers, maximum impact. Now imagine your battlefield. Office politics, career decisions, relationships. Are you fighting where you have an advantage? For example, if you're an introvert, is it necessary to grab the microphone in every meeting? Or can you showcase your power with a well-written email or presentation? Sun Tzu says, identify your strengths and play where you have the most impact. Now consider that even if you can always choose the right time and place, your victory isn't almost guaranteed. In the next chapter, we'll learn how using resources correctly can achieve a major victory even with a small force. Chapter 12. Understanding resources is the true mastery, says Sun Tzu. Even with limited strength, unlimited victories can be achieved if you learn to master resources. Now a real-life story, the Vietnam War, where the American Army had way more soldiers, weapons, and technology. But Vietnamese fighters troubled the superpower with local terrain tunnels and guerrilla tactics. The result was America's defeat. Lesson: more resources don't lead to victory. More understanding does. Now think about how much time you have. How much money do you have? How much energy do you have? Do you use them wisely? Take an example. If you only have 2 hours to learn a skill, instead of randomly scrolling through content, use those 2 hours with a solid learning plan. Sun Tzu says that those who can do more with less win the war and gain respect. Now imagine how much faster your growth will be if you start using every resource, be it time or attention, wisely from today. In the next chapter, we'll unify the true art of war. Chapter 13. Winning doesn't mean fighting every time. Sun Tzu says the one who avoids every battle wins the most. Now illustrate this with a compelling example. When Shakya was planning to bring Chandragupta to the throne, he avoided many battles directly. Sometimes through alliances, sometimes through diplomacy, sometimes through cunning. He manipulated situations instead of direct combat. Direct warfare isn't always the best solution. Now consider whether you respond directly to every problem. Do you clash every time? For example, if you're having repeated clashes with a colleague, is it necessary to argue every time? Or perhaps a simple change in communication strategy can resolve the issue. Sun Tzu says, real power. It's not how many times you fight, but how many times you win without fighting. We'll learn in the next chapter. How can your image be used as a weapon? Chapter 14, fear is also a strategy. Sun Tzu says to instill fear with your image, not your strength. A real-life example. During the Cold War, America and Russia didn't fight directly, but both tried their best to intimidate the other by spreading fear about their military image and nuclear power. A war didn't happen, but the entire world felt the impact of the war. Now think, do you always show your power, or do you make an impact with your image? Take this example. A leader who is calm but decisive is listened to attentively because they know they can take action. Sun Tzu says the one who instills fear in the opponent without fighting is the real winner. We'll learn in the next chapter how to turn your weakness into a strength. Chapter 15. Make weaknesses your shield, not a burden. Sun Tzu says that if you know your weaknesses, your enemy can't harm you. Take the Bible story of David versus Goliath. David wasn't strong, but he trusted his speed and ability. He defeated Goliath not with his strength, but with his strategy. Now consider whether you always hide your weaknesses or run away from them, or do you understand them and use them to your advantage? For example, if you're shy, your listening skills can help you gain people's trust. Shyness isn't your weakness, but your depth. Sun Tzu says that no one can defeat someone who turns their weakness into a weapon. In the next chapter, we'll learn how a strategic retreat can sometimes be the greatest victory. Chapter 16. Retreat isn't defeat, says Sun Tzu. A warrior who retreats wisely is sure to win the next battle. For example, Japan, after World War II, began to build an economic power worldwide by withdrawing its military power. It retreated but did not collapse. Instead, it challenged the world on a new front. Now think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where retreating felt like an ego injury? The reality is that persevering isn't always a strategy. For example, if someone is stuck in a toxic relationship or a toxic job, getting out of it is not cowardice but wisdom, says Sun Tzu. A timely step back can take you miles ahead. We'll learn in the next chapter how it's important to read the environment before every decision. Chapter 17. Read the environment. Then develop a strategy. Sun Tzu says that one who understands the weather, the land, and the mood has already won the battle. Real-life example. In the 2016 surgical strike, India achieved excellent results by mastering the environment and terrain. Now consider whether you truly understand your surroundings. Take this example. If you're engaging in negotiations, do you understand the other person's needs, their urgency, and their psychology? Sun Tzu says, sometimes it's important to know the weather before fighting a battle. In the next chapter, we'll learn how flexibility combined with planning is the ultimate power. Chapter 18. Plan, but adapt to the situation. Sun Tzu says, the warrior who adapts to the circumstances survives in the end. Real example. Steve Jobs changed his plans every time he launched the iPad, iPhone, and iPad. Why? Because the market and technology were changing. He would never have succeeded with a fixed plan. Now, consider whether you're rigid. Do you consider every plan set in stone? Take this example. If you've made a health plan but suddenly have to travel, do you abandon the entire plan or adapt it and do a small workout? Sun Tzu says that a strong person isn't one who never bends. A strong person is one who never breaks. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to formulate a strategy based on real intelligence, not assumptions. Chapter 19. Strategy is incomplete without intelligence. Sun Tzu says that a plan made without information is simply an invitation to defeat. In the real story, Operation Indabas, 1976, Israel rescued hostages at Ugandan airport because they had accurate inside intelligence. Every soldier, every wall, every timing, everything was determined by information. Now think about any plan you make. Is there accurate data and information behind it? Or do you just start something inspired by emotions? For example, if you're launching a new business, do you know your audience's needs, market demand, and pricing structure? Sun Tzu says a real warrior doesn't formulate a strategy without intelligence. Now in the final chapter, we'll learn that a true master is one who achieves victory without fighting, the art of winning without fighting. Sun Tzu says ultimate excellence isn't winning every battle, but winning without fighting. A real example. Mahatma Gandhi defeated the British Empire without weapons. His weapons were satyagraha, strategy, and patience. He showed the world that sometimes peace is the most powerful weapon. Now think about it. Is it necessary to solve every problem in your life through fighting? Or can strategy, timing, and wisdom also do the trick? Take this example. If you're angry with someone, is it necessary to argue, or can a calming message end the matter? Sun Tzu says the one who wins before the battle is the true master. See you in Conclusion 2.0, where we'll relive the full lessons of the art of war. Conclusion. The art of war. If this audiobook taught you that not every battle is necessary, but strategy is essential in every decision, then this is its biggest lesson. Strength alone is not enough. True victory is achieved only when used with wisdom and patience. You now know how to win without fighting, how strategy, timing, and silence can also be weapons of war. Now comment, I will win without fighting with wisdom. And if you're thinking, now I have to take action, but where do I start? Then the next audiobook will change your thinking. Do It Today by Darius 4. This audiobook will teach you how to overcome procrastination and make progress your lifestyle every day. The link is provided in the I button and description. Be sure to listen to it because knowing a strategy is one thing. Translating it into action is quite another. Thank you for joining us on this journey to the bookish destination. Be sure to subscribe to our channel because the next book could determine the direction of your life.